Good morning, everyone. It's Nick Petro at the National Weather Service in Raleigh. It is 11:30 on Monday, the 10th of December, with your update here to the wintry weather. And every Monday at 11:30, we do our typical weekly impact weather briefing. So thanks for joining me. And let me first start off by saying I know the screen is flashing, so let me try to fix that here. I apologize for that. Let me just go ahead and get started with this so I can shut it off, and that'll stop the flashing. So anyway, this has been an interesting morning, obviously. This is live radar, and you could see there's quite a bit of lingering precipitation echoes here. Now, what is going on? You might be wondering. This is the back edge of the system, precipitation associated with yesterday's storm. Now, we highlighted this yesterday in our 4:30 p.m. webinar and briefing that there was a concern that the back edge and additional energy coming in from the west could get something going here this afternoon, or this morning, I should say. And indeed, that has happened. So, what is going on right now? Where's the transitions and such? Let me kind of zoom in here, and first we'll start off in the triad. Triad, actually, interestingly, the temperatures are up into the upper mid 30s rather. So we see that. But besides that, the precipitation is gradually winding down here. So we should see a wrap up there. We could see where the heaviest precipitation is across the Triangle region and southwest Triangle regions. You can see here at Raleigh, we've got a temperature of 30 degrees and some fog and some light snow. At Burlington, there's light snow and temperatures actually above freezing. So Siler City, light snow and 32, and light snow at Sanford and 32, as well as Asheboro. Actually, it's light rain. So you see, we still have this mixture going on over at Johnson County, Smithfield 34, and they're in the transition zone right now. So as we head off to the northeast, we have at Halifax 30 degrees and probably some light snow. Tarboro is probably a mixture of sleet, freezing rain, and snow, 32. So you get the idea. Another way to see, and let me just head down south, not to forget our friends down south, but we've got perhaps maybe some sort of mixture, more than likely a rain and maybe a few sleet pellets getting involved in the Fayetteville area. But another way to gauge precipitation types is via this correlation coefficient product that I've been showing. And essentially what this tells us, and let me get my drawing tools out here. This tells us that there's probably a transition here somewhere like this, where it's all snow north of this line. So clearly from, the Triangle region, Raleigh, Wake County, over to Durham and points north and points east, even down into Clayton. I'm just getting some reports of a changeover to snow even down as far south as Clayton. This is all falling as snow. Now you see these yellows. There's a lot of, that tells us that there's a lot of mixed precipitation involved in there. So there's probably in this middle corridor here, in between these two lines, there's probably some sort of a mixture. It may even extend down towards Clinton over to Kenansville. I'm not sure about down here. It's getting high up into the beam, or higher up into the beam, I should say. But certainly between these two lines, there's a mixture of rain, sleet. Is really the main thing happening here, rain and sleet. But the good news is, and then finally south of there, it should be just rain. Okay, so the good news is the precipitation echoes down in this area here. You can see, so there's quite a bit of probably sleet getting mixed in here. But the good news I keep trying to say here is that here is the back edge of the precip along just north of I-85. So we do see light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. So where it has changed over to all snow, it's the back edge of the precip shield is not too far behind. And this whole thing is kind of transitioning to the southeast as we head through the next few hours. Okay, so if you're traveling in the Triangle region and even points south and east of the Triangle here over the next few hours, be careful because roads can go from wet to just treacherous in just a matter of a few minutes once that heavier sleet and snow gets underway. All right, so I'm going to close this out so we can go back to our slides without any flickering here of the slides, and let's go through this here. And here's our main concerns as we head through the rest of this event. Snow, a little bit of snow, maybe a light coating, perhaps an inch of new snow today. After that rain snow line shifts south. Obviously, as I just pointed out, there'll be some hazardous travel lingering, due to that quick burst of snow and sleet. So if you're traveling anywhere across central North Carolina, just be careful for quickly changing conditions. Also, travel will be tricky the next few mornings with temperatures dropping below freezing. In black ice concerns, that'll be mainly where there's a snow cover. Okay, so areas where yesterday's snow and today's snow, lingers and doesn't melt, black ice may be a problem at least tonight, early tomorrow morning. So the morning commute, there could be some black ice issues, and then perhaps even, Tuesday night and maybe even Wednesday night where the deepest snowpack lingers. We're still concerned about some possible river flooding later in the week. There's already minor river flooding going on the Neuse at, I believe, Smithfield and Goldsboro eventually. So that'll be a concern we're going to be keeping our eyes on as we head through the week. All right. So again, here's a quick, kind of what I already demonstrated just a few moments ago. And that rain, sleet, and then transition to snow and sleet mix. That line is just gradually shifting to the south and east. So the paragraph there on the right says it all. A band of moderate to heavy snow will impact portions of the I-40, I-85 corridor in the Triangle region this morning, and it should say this afternoon. We'll get that fixed before I send out the slides. This activity is expected to continue through at least early afternoon, producing pockets of visibility restrictions in numerous slick spots on area roadways, up to an additional inch of snow accumulation. Maybe a glaze of ice with that sleet will be possible. We should see conditions slowly improve this afternoon and evening as it all shifts to the southeast, exiting the Triad shortly after lunchtime and exiting the Triangle region by 3 or 4 p.m., exiting the Fayetteville region shortly after dark. So, and then here's a graphic here to demonstrate that timing. You can see the legend on the upper right of this slide shows the precipitation types. So you can see that mixture and that snow, that whole thing, the whole shield should shift south, exiting the Triangle region maybe by 3 or 4 p.m. today, and then by sunrise it should be south of the Fayetteville region and exiting the coastal plain certainly by midnight tonight, maybe even 9 o'clock. So. All right, so that's the situation there, and never mind this. Again, we've been having some issues here with internet, so this is old. Never mind that. I will fix that before I send out the slides. So I apologize for that inconsistency there. Let me erase that here, and let's go to some temperatures, because I do want to demonstrate some temperature readings here as we head through the next couple nights. And again, we've been a little bit handicapped this morning here at the National Weather Service in Raleigh with an internet outage that's really been affecting a lot of our web pages, and that's why our briefings haven't really been updating on the web. Our point and clicks are non-functional right now, so I apologize if you click on that. There's nothing, so it's kind of out of our hands until the internet restoration. I'm actually on a backup Wi-Fi system right now, in case you're wondering. So anyway, I apologize for the lack of quality of this briefing and data that I normally would show. But fortunately, we still have these maps, and I can show you these. Tonight, temperatures are expected to fall into the 20s where there's snowpack, lower 30s elsewhere. We have high temperatures holding in the 30s, up mid and upper 30s tomorrow where there's snowpack, and low 40s elsewhere. Tuesday night, look at those temperatures. Once the sky clears out and things really begin to skying clearing out and winds calming down, temperatures are going to plummet into the 20s and even low 20s, perhaps even upper teens, where the deep snowpack is. So again, Wednesday morning, watch out for some black ice concerns, particularly along the north of the Highway 64 corridor. When are we going to get some melting going? Hopefully by Wednesday, we'll see temperatures starting to get up into the mid and upper 40s, maybe 50s, low 50s across the southeast portion of the state. But yet again, Wednesday night, temperatures dropping back into the 20s where there's snowpack, in mid and upper 30s elsewhere. We finally get a decent warm up as we head through the week here. Look at these temperatures by Friday. We're looking at upper 40s to lower 50s west and 60s east of the triangle. But that's going to come with that warm up will come with increasing rain chances, and that'll be our next concern as we head through the rest of the week. All right, so how much snow with this? I'm shifting a little bit out of order here, but how much additional snow with this band? Maybe up to an inch. Okay, so this is where we think areas, basically much of central North Carolina, could see as this little band of activity here on the backside of the system shifts through. Generally, most places will stay below an inch, and the reason for that is because we've seen it here, even in our office in Raleigh. We've seen the precipitation type go from snow to sleet, back to snow, back to sleet. So, if it was all snow and coming down hard for hours, yeah, we'd say maybe an inch or two. But what's saving us from bigger accumulations of snow is the transitions back and forth to sleet. So generally we have less than an inch. But even though these amounts may be low, let me tell you, sleet combined with snow on the roads still is a very dangerous combination, and roads will be treacherous even with small amounts of snow and sleet combined. All right, so obviously we're keeping track of the rivers. We have a river flood warning for the Neuse River at Smithfield that's headed up. Eventually it's going to go down to Goldsboro, and then even other rivers may be impacted as the snow melt occurs. Look at the Haw River. This is a model simulation. There's a lot of models there showing minor flooding, even further upstream, closer to where the deeper snow is. That would occur later this week if there's river flooding in that region. So, again, keeping our eyes on that. All right, so let's look further ahead, because this is Monday morning, and we typically do our weekly impact weather briefing. So I apologize for that. Looking at the rest of the week, we do have high pressure moving in over the midweek period. But as I've been kind of pointing out, we have another storm system approaching late week, and that's going to bring rain and perhaps it's going to be fairly quick moving, so it's not going to be, but even an inch and a half of rain combined with snowpack is still, again, causing concerns for how the rivers are going to respond. And then this weekend, looks somewhat unsettled with a little bit of a couple troughs disturbances moving through, but looks like mostly rain event here for that period. All right, no severe thunderstorm potential, and here's the rainfall amounts. Tuesday and Wednesday obviously look dry, and then we get into that slightly wet period there late in the week. And again, our main concern being the rivers as we head to later in the week. Odds favor above normal temperatures next week, so that's good news, right? So if we do get precipitation next week, it should be mostly in the form of liquid and rain. So I think most people are probably happy to see that. All right, so let's get this wrapped up here. It's already getting kind of late here. So dangerous travel conditions through early Tuesday, maybe even early Wednesday, due to black ice concerns. But a band of moderate to heavy snow will impact the Triangle region this morning. It's pushing to the southeast. That'll continue at least through early afternoon. Pockets of reduced visibility, numerous slick spots. We've already talked about that. You could see maybe up to an inch of snow accumulation and glaze of ice with the sleet. Most places will stay below an inch thanks to that mixing in of sleet. But regardless, that'll produce localized dangerous travel conditions. We should see conditions improve this afternoon and evening as the precipitation shifts to the southeast. Out of the Triad shortly after lunchtime, and out of the Triangle region by 3 or 4, south of Fayetteville by sunset. So look for improving conditions in terms of additional precip as we head through the day. However, black ice will continue to be a concern the next few mornings, especially where snow ice pack is located. And finally, things turn wet late in the week, and we're keeping an eye on the potential for river flooding. That should say this week. So again, that is our briefing, and